This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
That's right. Your ride is about to begin. Actually, it's just started. Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We've come together once again to bring you the latest and greatest that's going on in the automotive industry. Right, Les?
Absolutely. We've got our seatbelts fastened. We've got our Android Auto connected.
Sound good.
The climate control is functioning, and we are ready to go with a whole bunch of stories, starting with the never-ending, what would you call it?
Saga?
The saga of electric sedans, because, let's just say they're sort of flat.
Yeah, well, they are, and two manufacturers have put the delay into the reveal of these vehicles in the U.S. We'll talk a little about that. But one manufacturer that's not delaying their reveal, that is Mini. The John Cooper's Works Mini will be revealed at the Ring, and they're going to kind of talk about the prowess of it on the Ring.
The hated Nürburgring. 146 turns, 9 miles. Not fun. Anyway, what are the safest new and used vehicles for new drivers? Not you and me, but for new drivers, what are the safest ones?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. And we'll also look at what Hyundai's doing. You know, Hyundai is a huge player in the Class 8 truck world, and they have a fuel cell truck that they're bringing out. I say look for them to be a big player in the market of Class 8, don't you?
Absolutely. They're a huge player worldwide. So watch out. Just like Volvo, came in a number of years ago and really started making huge dents in the trucking market. And we're going to talk tech this time, because your car is now concerned with your mental health.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. Concerned with your mental health, for sure. And then I'm going to have it at
my
car all the time.
I talk to my car all the time. It never responds.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to have an at-the-wheel review of the CX-30, Mazda CX-30, which is a pretty nice crossover and very luxurious on the inside. So we'll have that coming up on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine with Fred Staab and Les Jackson. So stay tuned, because we are just getting started, and we'll be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We're going to start off with electric vehicles, and specifically Volkswagen's ID.7 sedan, which I was kind of looking forward to seeing. Was expecting to be invited to see it at a regional event like soon. Well, guess what? No. It's been delayed. There's no targeted on-sale date now, which is just one more in the growing list of electrics that are getting scaled back.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it kind of plays in with what VW has done, where they just think don't even bother sending out sedans to the U.S., whether they're hybrids or non-hybrids or electrics even. They just feel that we don't want them here, and why bother? That's what it seems like they're saying,
It sure does, and of course, golly gee whiz, what a coincidence! They've pointed out a 27.5% increase in SUV sales,
right,
in the first quarter. So why bother with something that's not particularly selling well?
Yeah, that's basically the idea. I mean, look, it goes even back to things like they don't bring the Golf in, the regular Golf. They just bring in the GTI. I wish they would bring in this GTE, which is the sporty version, sort of like the GTI, but it's a plug-in hybrid, which gets 60 miles of electric range, and then it becomes a hybrid.
Yeah. So as you say, why spend the effort? Don't have a big market.
Yeah, and I think that is their idea for less. And it's sad. It's sort of like some of the two top stories we've been talking about. That it is not only the sedan going away. It is the electric vehicle being delayed as well. And over at Nissan, it's kind of the same thing, because they were planning a electric sedan, and they were going to build it in the U.S., but they're not going to do that anymore, at least for now.
Well, yeah. As you say frequently, you're in business to make and sell vehicles. If you're not selling them, then why make them and try to sell them?
Right, exactly. So I think we're going to see, unfortunately, a lot more of this. It makes you wonder what will happen to the Nissan Leaf and others. And remember, not building it in the U.S. means you're not eligible for the $7,500 tax unless you lease it. So that is, now they have a way around that. So they were going to build them in Canton, Mississippi, but now they're not doing that. So they may be trying to transition people into leasing. Is leasing big around by you? I know over here everyone leases because they want the latest and greatest. They have to have the latest and greatest and be, the big car on campus, so to speak. So I think we might see a trend towards that. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. What do you think? Would you be into leasing an electric vehicle if you got the $7,500 discount? As you and I have been saying, Les, that this might not be a bad idea because there's new technology coming all the time, and you can get the latest and greatest in it. So
and you're only stuck with your decision for 3 years. So that's a pretty good fail-safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, let's talk about something new and exciting. This is the Mini John Cooper's Works, which I always find is a hard thing to say. It's John Cooper Works. Little hot rod, and they have a unique way of revealing this. This is the gas-powered version of it, and it will be revealed at the Ring, the Nürburgring. It's going to debut at the 24 Hours of Nürburgring ahead of its world premiere, and that will be a fun car on the Ring, I would say, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, look at, first of all, they're fun cars to start with. And when you throw in a whole bunch more power and a whole bunch of handling and a very strange paint scheme, it's just a blast. You gotta feel good driving it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about this Bulldog car when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Stay tuned. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. We will be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson. Les, do you remember your first car?
I do. I bought my first car when I was 14.
What was it?
It was a 1950 Ford two-door business coupe.
A lot of business going on.
Not a fast car,
but
sort of handsome. It
yeah,
had a radio.
There ain't nothing wrong with the radio.
The entire option list.
Yeah, mine was a Chevy Nova, which is a great first car. Interesting study here now from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety and Consumer Reports. They put 58 vehicles on the list that were good vehicles for teen drivers, including used models and new models. Let's look at the used ones. This is the most affordable route and good idea to have a used vehicle when you start driving, don't you think?
Well, absolutely. I'm against lavishing a young kid with too much at a young age. I think it just it sends the wrong signal.
Yeah, I don't
actually know anything about kids. So.
I was very proud that I was one of the few people not to wreck a vehicle in my high school class. I did not wreck.
Same here.
It was fun. You know, I had it for a number of years after that. So what are some of the best vehicles for small cars? This makes great sense. That is Corolla sedan or hatchback. A sedan, 2017 or newer. Hatchback, 2019 or newer. $10,600 is the average price for that. What you think about it? That's a lot of money for a used Corolla, isn't it?
Well, it is, but there's an awful lot in these used cars, and hopefully they've got less than about 50,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
And they say that a Toyota Avalon, 2017 or newer, was 14,000. I've actually priced those, and they're a lot higher around here.
Yeah. Camry's not bad, $9,600, 2018 or newer. That's a pretty sporty car. It wouldn't be a bad first car at all. Chevy Equinox, 2020 or 2023, $13,800. This would be an interesting first car. A Volvo XC60.
Good choice.
2017, safe model, $12,100. That's not bad, right?
That's quite a deal, actually.
Yeah.
And of course, as if you're going to get your kid a minivan.
Oh, man, that would be like, do you never want grandkids? Or maybe do you want them, but you don't want them now?
That's right. But if you do, 2018 to 2020 is at 19,000. Oh, I can just picture that. Anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think a Camry I'd rather have a Camry than an Equinox, wouldn't you? That it's just a little bit more exciting, exciting. Now, those are the best vehicles. What are good vehicles, Les? What do you got in small cars?
Well, Mazda 3.
That's a fun car. Yeah.
Fun car. They're cheap, like $5,800, $6,000.
Yep.
Mazda 6. Most of them are extremely reliable.
Mm-hmm.
2015 to 17, 8,400.
Right.
Again, pretty safe car.
Yeah. Avalon.
Again. A little older, but 12,600. CX-5 Mazda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Going back to 2016, I'm not terribly sure how long-lasting they are back then.
Yeah. Murano. That was a
Good.
Nissan Murano was like when that came out. That was a big deal. $9,900. And then for the minivan crowd, good news, you're going to get your own vehicle. Bad news, it's a minivan.
Yeah.
I get they could go into the either Lyft or Uber business, I guess, as a sideline.
That's right.
Toyota Sienna 2016 to 17 or 12,600.
Right. You notice there's no Mustang or Camaro or Toyota Supra or any of these Subaru WRX. None of these there, because those are not good cars for new, inexperienced drivers.
Right. When I got into college, the kids that had the big money, they were all given Trans Ams or Corvettes.
Yeah.
I remember one guy complaining that the screw fell out of the front plate of his Corvette and the plate was kind of twisted sideways. He said, "How can I drive this?" And I said, "It's terrible. You know what? I'm going to offer you $500 right now. Right here. I'll take it away. Let's do it. Come on. Let's make a deal. Who's got a pen?"
I met a guy some years ago who bought his kid, fresh out of high school, as a graduation present, a Viper.
Oh, that's a really bad choice.
And he was a neighbor of a friend of mine, and I just said point blank, I said, "You just don't like your kid very much, do you? Because you're going to kill him."
That's a hard car to
insulted.
drive. Hard car to drive. And it, didn't have any safety features as far as braking back then. And, that's a car you can't look away for a second because all of a sudden you'll be sideways.
Not something to put in a 17 or 18-year-old's hands.
How'd that go?
He wrecked it about a year later. Wasn't killed, but hopefully it taught him a lesson. Hopefully it taught his father a lesson.
Yeah, that just was not the best choice. But let us know in the comments what your first car was, or maybe you're buying a first car for a new driver in in your home, and let us know what's on your shopping list. It used to be a lot of Chevys and things like that, and Fords. It's just not. I mean, it's better to go with a Camry would be great. The new Camry's got very sporty. If you don't mind a big cushy car, the Avalon. I always liked that car when I had it. It's like, this is a cruiser, you know?
It's basically a Lexus.
Yeah.
I like. I mean, again, it's not a glamour car, but it's a good car.
Yeah. What about a small mid-sized pickup truck? A lot of people seem to like those.
Yeah, but the problem is they're inherently unstable.
Yeah.
So I think, again, with inexperienced hands, it's easy to spin one. It's easy to roll one.
Especially on a wet day or something like that. Yep.
Yeah, and carrying your friends around. It's just
in the bed.
Bad idea.
I remember one of my classmates in high school had a 55 Chevy pickup. Actually, it was in nice shape, and they would ride people around in the bed.
And it's legal in many, many states.
It may have been legal on Long Island back then, but I remember one of the professors says, "That's not a good look. I saw that the other day. I was driving home from work, and that's not a good look."
That's not a good look.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it because especially as one of the old beds and it's very low. It's like you might as well be sitting on a flatbed just hanging on. And
yep.
I just didn't think it was good.
There's nothing to hold on to.
No. So, but anyway, tell us the vehicle that you're thinking about buying, or either as your own first car, or maybe for a child that's starting to drive, or a new driver. Let us know in the comments. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. We will be right back with plenty more Cruise Control. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Well, let's go big, Fred. What do you think?
I'd like to go big. Yeah, sure. I mean, Class 8. Let's talk Class 8 tractor trailers.
This is big. It's the kind of thing that everybody gets out of your way.
Yeah.
When you're rolling, and Hyundai they're rather proud of this. They've got an autonomous fuel cell electric big rig, as they call them.
Yeah, it is the Class 8, how would you say that, Exient fuel cell truck featuring Plus's Level 4 SuperDrive. Sounds like a concert featuring Plus's. So Level 4, what does that mean?
Level 4 basically means it'll drive itself under all conditions except really bad weather or total darkness.
Okay. All right. Now, fuel cells for trucks, that is a huge, huge, huge market, and they say that might be one thing that pushes hydrogen into the forefront, which I think is good. And it is pretty efficient. It is certainly clean, and let's remember, I always say this because I think it's a fun fact. Hyundai is one of the largest builders of trailers for tractor trailers.
Yeah.
It is a huge part of their business, and I didn't know that until I started watching some trucking videos on YouTube. But Hyundai is one of the biggest manufacturers of trailers, and so being in the Class 8 business is not a new thing for them. Will they bring their tractor trailers over here, or will they just supply the powertrain? I don't know, but I think that the Class 8 market is going to push adoption of hydrogen, and you and I have been talking about hydrogen for a while as a great way to power classic vehicles, of course, fuel cells, many different things, and I think that infrastructure is needed for trucks, so maybe you're going to take that classic car out to the truck stop and fill it up. What do you think? In the future.
Absolutely. I think this is a great idea. It's industrial, which is a whole lot easier to do than, passenger cars. And you got a whole monstrous fuel capacity and a 350 kilowatt electric motor. It's kind of similar to a diesel locomotive, except it's hydrogen.
Yeah.
So great range on these things. I think probably cheaper.
Quick refills.
Hydrogen in bulk is probably a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Quick refills, so good. Yeah. That's good news. Hey, let's do a little talking tech. This is from our friends over at CarBuzz. They have uncovered that GM has applied for a patent to technology that takes driver monitoring to a new level. The automaker says that it analyzes the driver's behavior by reading data sent by onboard sensors and can have the car take over if it detects unsafe behavior. Kind of equivalent to a pilot where he says, "My plane," right?
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I think you're going to get a lot of reluctance from a lot of people.
Yep.
But trust me, I have told a lot of people, you don't really drive very well. And I have never met a single person who hasn't wanted to hit me.
Yeah, nobody kind of likes that because I was told once in a racing school that men are the hardest ones to train in a racing school because they're like two things they know how to do because I'm a man: shoot a gun and drive a car.
Yeah.
So no one needs to tell me anything about that. I know all about it.
Exactly.
Which is never a good thing to think you know everything about everything.
That's right. But if the car is assessing your eye movements, if it sees you, for instance, you're driving along, and how many people do you know who do this? You're driving along, you have a passenger, and you're just turning your head and talking to the passenger.
Les, I see it all the time, and I also see people looking at their phone or looking down, and the car's moving forward, and traffic's coming up, and they're not seeing it, but yet it's the scariest thing. It's like it's almost as if they're asleep, and the car's moving forward, but they're not looking at all, and it's like this is not good.
And then they hit stuff.
And then they hit stuff.
I can't tell you the number of people that have ridden with me over the years and said, well, how come you don't look at me when you're talking? Because I'm driving. I'm not going to look at you. I know you're here.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Yeah.
So, it's very true. It's very true. But, another thing to think about this patent system, GM got in trouble a while back. We talked about this on Cruise Control, where they were sending OnStar driving data as far as launches and stops and, cutting around and things like that. And they were sending that data unbeknownst to the driver, to the driver's insurance company, and all of a sudden so you wonder if they can send this information, and all of a sudden you'll be getting a call like, hey, you're driving as if you have some kind of mental issue that's upsetting you. Maybe I can here are 5 referrals for you.
But but what about this though? What about the courts being able to just say, okay, you've been convicted of drunk driving, you have to install the GM system right away, and if it shows anything that indicates drunk driving, you're going to lose your license for whatever,
right?
2 or 3 years or something.
Yeah, it's I think a certain segment, typically folks that are a little bit older, don't like all this data flying around, because data brokering is how car companies and all companies, TVs, things like, why do you think all TVs are smart TVs? Because they get money for ads, and then they can also harvest that data, what you're watching. It's a direct link. It's like, we'll sell you the TV for $200 where it used to be $1,000, but they're harvesting the data, and that's how they're making their money. So that's kind of what car makers look to do, because they want to get higher profits. They're duty bound to do that, but how else are you going to do it? You can't charge more. Vehicles are already $80,000. How much can you charge? $300,000 for an average small crossover? I don't think so. So, it's a dilemma. It's a good safety item, but how will it be used? So that's something to think about. And we like your opinion on it too. Drop us a note in the comments, because it is certainly, it's no longer, your data is no longer your own, and
it is not. It's not. And I find I got a Facebook posting from someone that I have not seen or talked to for over 50 years, that somehow it went back and all my data and found this person and brought their posting up on Facebook, which I don't think that's a great thing.
No, and it's but other people might find that great and useful and helpful. Oh, look what you did for me. You reunited me with an old friend. My question was it real? Was the person still alive?
It was real.
Okay. All right.
And this wasn't a person that we were good friends.
No, you were just an acquaintance. You're in the same orbit. Yeah. Hey, coming up, Les, I've got a at-the-wheel review of a popular crossover. It's the CX-30 from Mazda. Great little vehicle. It has all over the Mazda lineup. They've really kind of gone to the luxury look on the inside and some premium materials. So I'm going to be doing an at-the-wheel review of that. We always like to give you our real-world experiences of the vehicle. So we're going to have that coming up. Yeah, it's interesting that they have gone from the Zoom company to more of a high-end luxury company. They don't, they don't really talk about that anymore. But CX-30 is a good one, and it is going to be a great at-the-wheel review. So stick around. I'm Fred Staab. He is Les Jackson. When we come back, we'll have that review for you, and we will be right back.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staab and Les Jackson, and we are glad that you are along for the ride. We have an at-the-wheel review for you. This is the 2024 Mazda CX-30, Les Jackson. CX-30, it's got the 2.5 turbo all-wheel drive premium plus package, soul red. Very popular color for...
good color for them.
Very good color. Red crystal metallic. And then the interior, it's white with brown and black. I always found that interesting. It does look high-end, though. I always found the brown and the black and the white to be an odd combination. But, hey, that's what it is. Mazda's gone upscale on the inside for sure. The materials are nice, great perforated leather, just soft touch and feel everywhere around the interior of the vehicle. No hard plastic, no, things that make you say, wow, that's really cheap looking. I love the fact that it's got a lot of controls. Buttons are everywhere, knobs, I found the entertainment system to be a little bit easier to use. Previously, the entertainment system was not that intuitive, but now it's better. I like the fact that it has real gauges, not projected gauges. That's what I like. Out back, decent storage and nicely finished off with carpeting as opposed to, I don't know, cardboard. But that's nice that they put some better quality materials. Was glad to find that there is a spare, which shares the space with the Bose amplifier, but good to know that there is a spare in case you need it. Under the hood, this is the 2.5-liter Sky Active turbo engine. Puts out 227 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. Did a nice job. And I thought it was rather tidy looking in the engine bay with a nice engine cover. Soul red really pops. That basically they get that soul red color by doing a tinted clear coat, and it makes it seem very deep and really attractive. It's sold a lot of Mazdas for sure. I think you would agree with that. Heavy cladding on the sides. That's to tell you it's a crossover. The black contrast on the bottom kind of ties into that cladding, and not a bad look. Very high waistline though, and narrow side windows. So it's just something to think about depending on your stature. Although you do have power adjustable seats, which will help if you can't see out the windows. You can jack your seat up. We had some optional equipment, which was the Soul Red Crystal Metallic paint. That is $595. We had a rear bumper guard in stainless, which for $135 was a nice way to trim it up. I think I would go for that. Front and rear parking sensors, no charge. Cruising and traffic support. Auto-dimming driver's side mirror. HomeLink 360-degree view monitor, which we love. smart braking reverse, smart braking rear crossing. That was all included in it. So it's pretty well loaded on the inside. As I said, power seat, lumbar, and the ability to raise that seat is important because that belt line is high. Nice Bose system with premium audio, 12 speakers, Sirius XM 3-month trial. I can't say enough about all the buttons in the vehicle. That is a good thing because those were the thing of the past. G Vectoring Control Plus. This is all-wheel drive vehicle. We should point that out. And you do have a button for locking the all-wheel drive. So overall, really a nice vehicle, a small crossover. I would say this is not as luxurious as, let's say, a small crossover from a Lexus, but you don't pay as much either. But it's definitely better than a lot of small crossovers when it comes to luxury. So MSRP for this was $36,800. Then we had the additional charge of $595 for the tinted paint, the Soul Red Crystal paint. Delivery on it was $1,375. Total as tested price $38,905. For that, you're getting that nicely powered 227 horsepower all-wheel drive crossover. Mileage on the highway 30, in the city 22 for an aggregate number of 25. It is not rated for crash safety overall, but front crash, it got 5 stars for both driver and passenger. Side crash, it was not rated, and rollover got 4 stars. So not a bad vehicle. As I say, it's somewhere in between like the regular old crossover with the cloth seats and the let's say a Lexus crossover. So it is available in a number of trims. Ours was the Premium Plus, which is of course typically what they put in the press fleet. But you can also get the S, which starts at $24,995. You can get the Select Sport at $26,500. You can get the Preferred at $28,700. You can get the Carbon Edition at $29,790. The Premium at $31,990. The Turbo Premium for $34,990. And the Turbo Premium Plus $36,800, which is as tested. That's what we had. And if you're wondering, they do have some other upgrade colors, Les. As I told you, the Soul Red Crystal Metallic, $595. Machine Gray Metallic, $595. The Polymetal Gray Metallic, $450. The Snowflake White Pearl Mica at $450. And Ceramic Metallic at $450. Another nice little feature I found is the rearview mirror covers are not just black. They're like a metallic black, which I thought was a nice little surprise, seeing that in the lineup. So
did you say that the rear seats fold down flat, or
they fold fairly flat. Yeah, they don't have the lower seat cushion that tilts forward, but it's relatively flat. It's not too bad. I mean, there was a lot of confusion on this vehicle. They had the CX-3 and then they had the CX-30 for a while. There was a crossover. CX-30 is basically a bigger version of the CX-3, and the CX-3 is no longer made. So I hope that clears it up for people. But it is a midline premium crossover, I would say, and that's the differentiator here. It is just a little bit more upscale. As I said, I used to hate their infotainment system because I found it very, very hard to use, and either I'm getting used to it or perhaps this is a slightly newer version. But I found that it worked pretty well, and I was able to tune the radio. That was one of the biggest problems in the past. I was like, how do I tune the radio while you're driving along? And it wasn't. If you didn't have a preset already selected, it was kind of hard to do that, which can be annoying. So these are all things to check out if you are going to buy a vehicle, and sometimes you might not think about that on a test drive, but this is certainly something to check out, isn't it?
Well, it is, and the first thing you want to do is use your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay and set things up so that you can use your Google Map, or your other preferred map. You know, take some time when you get the vehicle. Take some time, to learn it. Spend a couple hours just sitting in it.
Yep.
Great
advice.
Going through all the stuff. You don't have to be moving.
Great advice. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this At the Wheel review of that Mazda CX-30. Hope you enjoyed the whole show. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staab.
I am Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.